or they use a machete.
Oh my God.
They chop up one of the toes of a runaway slave.
Umbrella for
Now,
40 slaves.
European will give our forefather this, they collect 40 human beings as a slave then. They will not drill it down. When it's down, they'll force the leg open.
Okay.
So, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Elderly. Right, this is the first cell out of the 40 rooms, 2 have been set aside.
Yeah.
Now, all the rooms used to be like this, a smaller room.
Okay.
In there is called dark room. We are still going there.
Okay.
Now, we call this thing covering yoke. They use this to yoke 2 slaves together so that they will not be able to escape. I think we should experiment with this.
Okay, no worries, sir.
Now, come this way.
Okay.
Yeah. So, they'll pull this at the ankle of the first slave, then the ankle of the second slave.
Yeah.
Now, look at this straight rod.
Yeah.
You can see this pin hole here.
Yeah.
That's where they're going to put their padlock. So they'll pass it from my hand here to your end here. Then they'll now use this hold. Yeah. They'll put their padlock there. So it's not easy for I and I to run or to escape. Okay? Yeah. And while working on the plantation, we just have to work in one accord so that there will not be more injury on our ankle. Yeah. And know how they are going to do the perfection. They will still have injury on their legs. Yeah. So who care? Because they were slaves, the next day they still be wearing this while working on them.
So these are they used to wear it every day.
Yeah, so that they will not be able to escape. They don't want them to escape because they are wounded lion.
Oh my God.
So they use it to yoke 2 slaves together. We call it covering yoke, or you call it ankle shackle. Now look at these chains here. If you look this chain, I want to show you something. You can see that it's wearing out.
Yeah, it's wearing out.
It's going gradually, but it's heavier than this, and it used to be one chain together like this. But because of the weight, it has divided, and it's heavier than this. Feel the weight and see. Can you see how heavy it is? Now we call this waist chain. What do I say? Waist chain. Now, any slave that is stubborn, they will tie it around the waist, as you can see in the pictures here. Can you see this guy in the picture?
Oh my God.
So they will tie it around the waist of a stubborn slave. So after some time, it will calm the slave down, so that he will be less aggressive fighting other slaves or those who want to purchase him. Now, this is the umbrella for 40 enslaved Africans.
This umbrella for 40 slaves.
European will give our forefather this, they collect 40 human beings as a slave then. Now, let me ask you this question. Do you think this is worth 40 human beings?
It doesn't, honestly.
Now, that to tell you the kind of leaders Africa have been breeding right from the cradle of Africa. How could they exchange 40 slaves, human beings with this ordinary umbrella that was made of wood, bronze silk, and cane? Let me show you the cane. You will call it ikon. Can you see the cane?
Yeah, I see it.
So, and the umbrella is heavy. Try the weight and see the heaviness. And as heavy as it is, just a guy, because we have to carry it on the head.
Just one person.
As you can see in the picture there, it must not drop from the hand of that slave. If that umbrella drop, the penalty could be dead. They'll be headed in
immediately.
Now, this one is called iron muzzle. They use that to cover, to guard the mouth of the slave, preventing them from communicating, because they don't want a means of communicating, or they don't want it to be overfed, so they don't have power to fight their masters. But the worst one is the one whereby they will porphyry, they will pierce the upper lip with red hot iron, then the lower one, they will not apply padlock. Now, let me show you this picture. This picture to tell a lot of stories. This is Seriki Abbas here, and these are the Brazilians that we are being retrieved with, because I told you the majority of the slaves taken from this compound were taken to Brazil, and they were Yoruba origin. And if you get to Brazil today, you still see their traces. Like there's a gods among the Yoruba here called Yemeja. They call it Lemeja over there. Eshu, Ezu. Yalakara, Akaraje, Oju, Ozun, that will tell that they are Yorubas that have been moved from this compound to Brazil. Those are the Brazilians negotiating with the Seriki Williams. Now, before we go in, look at this item number 7 here. We call this iron drilling bit. This iron have 2 functions. The first one, they put inside the fire. If I'm Ayodele slave, my name should be Ayodele. They use it to write Ayodele on my checks or at my back. They call it branding because slave kept here were owned by different owners. For identification, you just have to brand yourself with red hot iron. They also use it to break the toes. We call them fugitives. Any slaves that run away, they are called fugitive slaves. So any slave that today you run, tomorrow run, the master will say that you bring the slave. Now, if you look at the tip of this, you can see it has something round.
Just like screw.
Yeah, screw, you can see. So they'll put this in between, our leg has it on. They'll put that thing in here.
Okay.
They will not drill it down. When it's down, they'll force the leg open. Or they use a machete.
Oh my God.
They chop up one of the toes of a runaway slave. If there was a movie called The Road by Ali Saleh, Kunta Kinte. Okay, similar thing to the guy in the movie. Now, look at this chain here. This very chain here, and the one over there on the wall, were used to kill the slave. Later, when we enter the second cell, I'll be telling you how to do the lynching of the slave with these 2 chains. Now, this one standing here, they're sort of called chariot. That thing that horse normally pull, owned by this man called Seriki Williams. But this is the man called Seriki Williams. But I told that he had education, and we made a photocopy of his handwriting here. Now, before we go in, now here is called inspection room. We are going to see the dark room. We call it dark room. What I say? Dark room. Where 40 enslaved Africans were being cared for 3 to 4 months. So please, because you are tall, the frame is so low, you have to bend your head while coming in.
My God, no ventilation. There's just a little tiny ventilation.
Wash your hands. Now, look at that small window up there. Can you see that window? And that's what will give them ventilation. And 40 enslaved Africans will be kept here for 3 to 4 months. Inside this room, this is where they defecate, pee, do a lot of things. Imagine the odor, the heat. Imagine how many human beings they will have died inside this compound. That's the main reason why when people comes around, I tell them, you guys are not here to catch fun, but just to feel the pain the people of the past have felt. Now, each of these ceramic bowl go for 10 human beings. This is 50 enslaved Africans you are seeing there. Now, right at your back here, if you look at the body of this bottle, you will see 1873 being customized on the body of the bottle.
1873.
Yeah, the bottle is from Ghana, Austria. That's the 10 human being you are seeing. Now, this round thing, we call it record. They call it aging.
Yeah, I've seen this before.
Yeah, today we use DVD and CD.
Yeah, exactly.
And they give it to my Brazilian and the European friends. They are doing the trade. And these are cowrie shell that be the money that we spend in Africa. If you look at the body of this, you see the jug. You see, it's a German. They say, do you know that a lot of people don't even know that German too enslaved Africans? They did.
They too.
Yeah, they did. So, on top of this, they write, let me see, in logistic meat or surgeon quick. No, some Germans came there. I'm so curious, and I asked them, please, they should translate it, the meaning. And it meant that they say in a circle where people drink, there also be happiness around that circle. There to be merriment. That's the meaning.
That's the meaning.
Yeah, that where people drink, there always be merriment there. Now, over here, Muslim washes their face, legs, and co. We call it ablution. Okay. The man that owns the compound, if you want to do his prayer, this way they keep his wife for ablution as a Muslim, or if you want to take his bed, soup, and his drinking. But now, we are going now to see the second cell and see what we have in.
Okay, thank you so much.
Watch your head, sir. There's a picture of Olu of Iwo, the king of Iwo, and he paid a visit to the museum with one of the grandson of Seriki Williams Abbas, Bale of Yoyowe, and this is the decision of Oni of Ife when he came to the Barracoon. Then, of course, I've showed the vice president.
Yeah, Oshibaji.
Now, we are now moving to see the second room.